You've really done it this time, Disney. You've gone too far. Not just the big things anymore. Oh, no, no, no. Now you're attacking the little things. Yeah, the things that have been around for years. The things I grew up with. And by God, this is the first time I can actually say I've watched you destroy them. I didn't really see it that much with Star Wars at first, because, well, that's just 3 things, really. No, no, no. This is a TV show. Season after season after season. By God, I watched it die. And my God, you killed it, you bastard.
What is wrong, young Jacob? You do not like what we have done to your Last Man Standing franchise. We had to make some changes after all to appeal to a younger demographic. Are you not part of that demographic?
Disney, you don't have to water everything down for kids. There is plenty of mature kid stuff. And this was that. Maybe the first few seasons weren't intentionally for kids, but I'd say they could still be watched by them. But you didn't stop there. You just said,
water it down. More. More. More!
Okay, I'm a little off topic. How is it that Disney is destroying TV shows? Well, I want to start... Well, not really start. I want this to be my main point. Because this is a good example. Last Man Standing started out as quite a decent show, I like to think, in its earlier seasons. It was about a father and his 3 daughters. And the episodes were basically about kind of funny, but also somewhat realistic. Situations that can be relatable. Such as the daughters eventually getting boyfriends, which forces the father to realize that his kids aren't always going to be kids, and he has to come to terms with the fact that they're growing up, which causes conflict in the family that has to be resolved. And yes, they can make parts of that funny, but it's also mature. It's an enjoyable watch. But don't worry, we have absolutely none of that in the new seasons. Absolutely nothing at all is accomplished whatsoever. Because we have to, and I am serious, squeeze in 1,000 jokes per episode, all meant for kids under the age of 5. Think I'm kidding? Watch them. You will understand. There is nothing left of substance. By God, it's 100% filler. They're not even characters anymore. They're just cardboard cutouts you move around. These aren't people. What have you done, Disney? You know what? No, I am not cutting back to you because I can't even remember if I'm supposed to have my glasses on or off. I'm just going to leave them off. I'm putting them over here. But that's aside from the point. The point is, how has the show been ruined? Why do I blame Disney? How is it their fault? To which I have to say, because the show was switched to Fox, and Fox was bought by Disney, and ever since then, the show has been showing quite a dip in quality. Dip in quality, you may ask. What do you mean? Here's what I mean. Nothing is accomplished. Ever. By anyone. There is no consistency anymore. There is no character development. There is no storytelling. We have jokes, and that's it. I'm going to tell you some of the maybe not main, but at least secondary plot points of some of the episodes. One episode, Ryan wants to learn how to golf, and it doesn't go well. That's it. That is literally all that happens. Another episode, and this is at the very end of the episode, Chuck, get this, is black. Gasp! I could have never figured that out. Good heavens. Thank you, show, for telling me this. I would have never, ever guessed that. You think I'm being mean? Watch the episode. You'll get it. Another episode. Kyle and Mandy meddle. And it doesn't go well. And that's it. Good use of time. Don't you have a kid? Or jobs? Or literally anything else to do? Seriously. What are we on? Season 9 now? Season 9. We start off the season with Mandy being pregnant. And then we literally skip a few years later. And then we never see that child. Hey, it's basically an afterthought. We bring it up so little. Why would you bring in a kid if you're just going to completely ignore it? Speaking of which, where is Boyd? I haven't seen him in a while. I just assume he died off screen or something. I don't know. And Mike. Oh, Mike. The wise old crank of the earlier seasons. That guy who usually got upset about stuff, but more, I don't want to say mean well, but because he's could be pretty selfish at times, but he always came through in the end. He's been watered down so much to where he's gone from being the guy who makes fun of people for acting childish to being that person himself. Because by God, he actually made a poop joke. Actually, I think he made it twice. Seriously? Really, Disney? Would Star Wars have been more funny if Darth Vader, all he did was talk about how the plumbing's backed up? Would that have made him a better character? Because by God, what is with you, Disney? Why? We don't need 1,000 jokes. Just have them flow in naturally. That's what they did in the earlier seasons. They didn't force the jokes, they just came naturally. Like in one episode where the family is trying to protect the tree on their lawn when the government wants to chop it down. They're outside talking about how they have memories with this tree, and then two of the daughters, I forget which two, I think it was Mandy and Christian, they go, I made out with my first boyfriend under that tree, and then they say the same name at the same time and just kind of look at each other like... It was great. You see, it didn't feel forced. It kind of just came up. But now in the newer episodes, people are just cracking jokes left and right. Stop. When did you become clowns? Stop making jokes. This is supposed to be a serious moment. Who am I kidding? We don't have serious moments anymore. We don't even have consistency anymore. Like, in the earlier seasons, there was literally an episode where Ryan straight out said, you know what? I used to get angry all the time, but I learned to control it, and now I can keep my calm. Skip forward a few seasons, just sweep that under the rug. We don't need that, because this episode, Ryan has anger issues. About what? Oh, stupid things like losing a game, people saying, oh, yeah, you made, Ryan, you're not a very chill guy. Technical difficulties have occurred. Let's move on. So anyway, as I was saying, Ryan just out of nowhere for one episode, because this never comes up again. He's just angry. I don't know what else to say. He just gets mad about things. Not even big things, just like little things. Like people are playing bad at a game. That upsets him. That's really it. It's a one and done kind of thing. Nothing. I don't even know what to say. There's nothing to say. That's how little there is. How about we talk about a different character? Ed. I liked Ed. He was just that kind of almost eccentric rich old man. He was kind of grouchy, but also friendly. he enjoyed some things. He did have a few silly moments, but it was always with some reason. And he was kind of a war veteran. He never really saw any kind of action because he was more of a desk person. But in his retirement from military, anyways, he spent some of his time, at least, helping and talking to veterans. So he was honestly a pretty cool guy. And sweep that under the rug. Now he's a cranky old man who hates people. I think that's come up twice. I can't remember in which order, but I remember one episode where it's like, this is basically the entire plot with him summed up. I feel old. Yeah, no, I don't. And I hate people. You think I'm shortening that, I'm really not. And then the second episode, it's like, it's time for happy hour. Ed, why are you making these Hawaiian drinks? They're colorful. Yes, this is punishment for what you did. What did I do? You had people drive by my house. Okay. I do not like people. Okay, I won't do it again then. Good. Very good. Now away with you. They're not characters anymore, they're just clowns, and that's the problem. By trying to change an episode not an episode, a series. Not a series either. Is it a series? I don't know if it's a series. The last 3-ish seasons, let's say. By trying to change them suddenly to a younger demographic, it doesn't work. You can't just turn it on a dime and expect it to go okay. Like, what if Star Trek suddenly went from a movie series about space exploration to getting involved with the mafia? It would be out of nowhere and makes absolutely no sense. Why is this happening? Why should we care? We didn't come here to watch Spock get involved in a gang. He's supposed to be at Captain Kirk's side helping out on the bridge. Like, what is this? We don't want this. Why would you change this? It was perfect the way it was before. Oh, well, when you buy a product, you have to make changes. Why? To appeal to your beloved chart? That there is a way to get people's money, and this is the best way. This is the only way. Screw good writing. That doesn't make money. No. What makes money is charts and what they say. Oh, yes. Now that is the way to make quality TV. You see, what the chart says is people don't want to think about things. No. That's dumb. What they really want to do is be fed comfort food. Nothing but comfort food. As in 22 solid minutes of filler, where absolutely nothing has anything to do with today at all. Today at all? What do you mean by today at all? Okay, you know why some of the earlier episodes are still so good? Because they're still relevant. Even if their episodes are a couple of years old by now, they still work. You know why they work? Because they try to tell stories that it could happen to anyone. It's not just, oh, this is another wacky adventure. No. This is something that could become timeless because it has nothing in it that would be dated. That can't be right. Well, actually, it is right. And here's a good example. I remember an earlier episode where it's Eve learning to drive. And she's doing pretty good. But because she's been taught so much by her father, she does know how to drive, but it's a little bit more reckless. And later on in the episode, Eve and her mother try to bond. Or rather, her mother wants to bond with Eve, but they just don't fit together. Eve likes to hang out with her father more, that kind of thing. So they really struggle to form any kind of connection, and they figured maybe driving could be that connection. But the result is Eve just having a terrible time because they just don't click, which causes tension in their relationship as mother and daughter because it somewhat results in them starting to resent each other. Eve gets upset. It's like, you never want to hang out with me. You just figure because my other two sisters are busy, don't you have another daughter lying around here somewhere? And naturally, this creates an interesting conflict because it could happen to anyone. People will always continue to have families, hopefully. I don't know what the future holds. Who knows? Maybe we'll all be brains in jars one day. But anyways, it'll become timeless because what about it will be dated? Except for maybe the cars. They'll have self-driving cars one day. I know that for a fact because they're working on them. I think they already came out with a prototype. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you know why the later seasons will be forgotten? I can't even remember them. It has not been that long, and I can't even remember any of them. Any of them as in maybe a season ago. Like, I remember the episodes I just watched, obviously, but you know what I'm trying to say. You know why they'll be forgotten? Because they don't say anything. They have nothing to do with anything. There is nothing of substance. There's nothing. I don't even know what to say about them. There's nothing to say. Like, I am trying so hard to think of anything to say. There's nothing to say because there's nothing there. There's nothing. There's nothing to grasp. The earlier seasons, there's so much to grasp. They're such good episodes. If you haven't seen Last Man Standing, go check out like the first 4, 5 seasons maybe. Even 6. I think 6 started to go down a little bit, but I don't know. Go check out the earlier seasons. They're great. But the last 3, by God. I'd say you tried, but I don't think you did. Which, actually, now that I think about it, you brought in an Asian character for diversity's sake, I believe. But whatever happened to their maid? Their Mexican maid. Now, I know that sounds racist, but she wasn't really so much as their maid as more of a kind of a family member because they did interact with her and she did help out quite a bit. Like, she helped the daughter, Mandy. She pushed her into becoming what she wanted to be, so she wasn't just the maid, she was basically part of the family. And she kind of just disappeared one day. I think it was after she became a citizen, but it wasn't that clear. I don't know. I can only assume they got rid of her because having a Mexican maid is probably racist. I don't know. I liked her. She was a good character. I wish there was more of her. But apparently, that's racist. That's not diversity. So we need our Asian character, Jen, who is replacement Eve. If I said this, I don't even know if I've said this. That's how easily forgettable these characters are. Okay, this is basically all I have to say right now. This is my first rambling video, so I don't have a script. This is just off the top of my head. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know in the comments down below. Next time I'll write up a script so it's not just me spitting random things out at you, but if you like this, let me know. I'll do it again. Bye.